Welcome everyone to becoming a microdosing facilitator. We are so honored that you're here with us tonight. We're just going to give it a couple minutes for everyone to join before we get started.
So happy to have you here today for our free webinar. So excited to tell you all about this amazing training program that we've put together. We're going to give everybody a few minutes around the world to join us. So if you could just stay patient with us here for a couple of minutes, we greatly appreciate you joining us. We've got more than 40 people already on here at 6:01 p.m. This is amazing. So happy to have you. If you're out there in the world and you can hear us, let us know. Join us in the chat. Hello and welcome. We're just letting everybody in again. Everybody's showing up. You are in the right place. Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Paul from Maui. This is beautiful. Really appreciate everybody. Aloha, Paul. Thank you, Flavia and Lacey, Alan, Leslie, Aaron, Juan. Amazing. Juan from Chile. Beautiful.
Hi, John. Hi, Renee from Boston. John is in New Orleans.
Amazing to see you all here. Thanks for coming. We've got Anne-Marie here from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Welcome. So happy to have you here as part of our webinar. So excited to see how many different people are here already from around the world. We're happy to have you here, Anne-Marie. Thanks for joining us. Give me 1 second.
Hi, Barry from San Jose. Such an honor to have you here. We're just going to give it a couple minutes for everyone to arrive, and then we'll get started with our program here. So feel free, if you just came in the room, to let us know where you're tuning in from around the world. Welcome to Barry.
So I just got off the phone with Dr. Jim Fadiman, Ph.D. He should be on the line shortly. We've got Aaron from Washington State. Aaron, so good to see you here. I just spoke with you the other day. Aaron is a part of our training program. Aaron is one of the first 20 people to sign up. Aaron, welcome. Hi, Sherry from Denver.
And I also saw my dear friend L'Oreal, who has also joined the training program. Hi, L'Oreal.
Hi, Patrick from New Mexico. If you've already joined the program and you want to add in the chat something you're really excited about, please let us know. We'd love to hear it. Great to see students that have already joined coming for this information session. Amazing. So Danielle, let's give it maybe 1 or 2 more minutes and then we'll get started.
Thank you everyone so much for your patience. We have Elk from Denver and Ellen from Oakland and Patrick from New Mexico and Andrew, excuse me, from Detroit.
Got Dan from Fairfax. Andrew, I grew up in the Detroit area. So nice to see that this is making it all the way back into the Midwest. So happy to have fellow Michiganders on this call and this Zoom today. This is amazing. So amazing to see how many people are here around the world.
We are so thrilled, you guys. We're blown away by how many people have expressed interest in this program. We're really excited to dive into this information with you today.
We've got Meigs from Calgary, Canada. We got somebody from Canada. That's amazing. We've still got people coming in, so we're going to give it about 1 or 2 more minutes and let everybody get in. Where in the Metro Detroit? Andrew Ross, I grew up in the Grosse Pointes. Hi, John Marcy. How are you? So thankful for you.
Hi, John. So happy you're here and thankful for you.
All right. We're super excited.
It's time.
We love you too, John. So happy to have all of these people here from around the world. We've given it about 5 minutes for everybody to show up. We've got Alyssa from Sonoma County, California. Welcome, Alyssa. So happy to have you here. Wow, people are still showing up one by one. This is great. All right, 2 more people entered. You want to get started, Danielle?
Yep.
All right, beautiful. Well, hello and welcome to becoming a microdosing facilitator. My name is Adam Bramlage, and along with Danielle, we are your lead faculty on this groundbreaking and pioneering training. We're so excited to have you here and have a special guest, Dr. Jim Fadiman, Ph.D., to join us a little later and talk a little bit about this training.
We are so blown away by your response of the microdosing facilitator training. We've had over 10,000 unique views since we've launched this program in the past month or so. We've been seen in over 62 countries and visited from over 48 states. We had over 315 people register for this webinar. It is so clear there is huge interest in this training program. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy lives to join us here on a Sunday night and share this sacred experience with us. We're so moved by the response that we've received, and we want to know you. We want to build with you. We want to collaborate with you on this training. For Adam and I, this is our sacred work that we absolutely love doing. This training was birthed out of over 5 years of work that we've been working on microdosing programs. So we're really excited to activate this powerful work with you.
So let's get you involved here. We're going to give a talk in a few minutes and answer your questions later, but let's get started. Where are you located in the world? We've heard that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your profession? What brings you here? We would love to see from you why you're interested and what brings you here. I see Carol Hay, who's 74, and that's inspiring to see you here, Carol. Absolutely amazing. All right. Well, let's move on to the next question. Danielle.
Amazing. We have a writer, we have a grief worker, an addiction specialist, a professor, director,
We got a massage therapist,
online nutrition and fitness coach, a retired artist,
grief worker, and addiction specialist,
clinical social worker and therapist, a former teacher, a marriage and family therapist doing psychedelic assisted psychotherapy, and psychologist, an end-of-life therapist, an LMFT. This is amazing. This is absolutely exactly our audience that we're wanting to reach.
I love it. And I love it. Caroline says, it works for me and I'd like to pay it forward. 100%. That's both why Danielle and I are here. Microdosing worked for us and we would also like to pay it forward. Aaron, who already signed up for our training, said, I'm very interested in healing and this groundbreaking work and starting a new chapter with a new career. Aaron, you're exactly why we created this training. I love seeing all the diversity and all the professional careers that are here. We have someone from LA that's an artist and a somatic healer. We have a 64-year-old John who met Stan Groff and James Fadiman at a MAPS conference in San Jose in 2020. Absolute legend. Neil is an electrician and producer of Tribal Ceremony, disaster responder. Amazing.
And Bridget says that she's in transition, exploring what her next career will be. That's perfect. We really think that this is such a perfect place to be if you're looking to transition.
And we're seeing L'Oreal's a healing arts psychedelic guide. We have an RN and nurse educator. Leslie says, microdosing changed my life. Thanks, Adam. I was blessed to work directly with Leslie. She wants to help others and experience what she did. That's absolutely amazing. Thanks for paying it forward and being here, Leslie. We look forward to having you be a part of this course and training.
So now we're going to move to the next portion. We're just going to ask you guys very quickly a couple questions. What inspires you about this training program?
I love to see that Andrew said that he did a lot of recreational tripping in his younger days, and now he's interested in using the technology in a more professional way. That's really what we're looking to do, Andrew, is we're looking to professionalize microdosing. We're looking to standardize it. We're looking to create a structure for it. And it's been hugely helpful in not only our lives, but hundreds of clients we've worked with. So great to see so many of you inspired about this training.
We also want to know, how has microdosing transformed your life, the lives of your loved ones, or your clients?
We've got Victoria saying she wants to heal people, help people heal. That's beautiful, Victoria. We'd love to have you join us. I love Renee and the idea of partnering with plants in our everyday lives, not just macro. That's so important. Thank you. Bridget, it would be great to learn how to spread the sacred medicine to people that need it. Agree. These are
Ro-
amazing.
Rosie says the lineup of instructors and to provide an academic platform and to expand her knowledge. Lacey said, I took your master class and I would like to deepen my knowledge of support. Others are interested in microdosing as an alternative to antidepressant meds, also for end of life.
Amazing. We have Patrick Ryan saying how it can be integrated in a way that helps people adopt more health promoting behaviors from a healthier and a more fit society. Aaron, one of our first students who signed up, said YouTube plus taking a natural approach with these indigenous sacred medicinal plants. This is amazing. Rosie's here to continue to expand her knowledge. Absolutely. Leslie said she's blown away by the changes she experienced and that this is going to be transformative for so many people. She was experiencing massive anxiety and everything changed with the first day of microdosing.
Oh, I'm so happy for you, Leslie. That's amazing.
We've got Caesar, who loves educating people over 50 about microdosing. Caesar is at Cultivating Wisdom Instagram, and we're so grateful for what Caesar does in the world. Thank you for being here, Caesar. Love having you here. Love to have you in our training and part of our community. Andrew, we're not going to talk about ketamine therapy really at all today, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the rest of it as we go. What aspects of becoming a microdosing facilitator excites you? We've got one or two more questions, and then we're going to really dive into the training. So we wanted to just check in and see what part of this really excites you guys.
What lights you up? What just sparks that fire and that flame from within you?
Caesar says, microdosing changed my life. Love what you guys do. Love it for you as well, Caesar. Sherry also says, microdosing changed my life and the lives of my clients. I am also interested in cultivation and carrying the medicine in a sacred way. Sherry, I'd love to hear more about what you're doing. That's why this community and getting us all together is so important. Aaron wants to help others. Alan's interested in the psychology. We have some great teachers on the psychology.
Patrick says it feels like it's the next evolution and coaching and helping people.
I love that it is the next evolution in coaching and helping people. Well said, Patrick. That is absolutely well said. Lacey said neural programming and making space for joy. Juan Carlos is a psychotherapist and been seeing patients for many years. He observed that microdosing and psychotherapy takes on a new dimension and pace. Amazing, Juan Carlos. Psychedelics, microdosing connect and strengthen the work with oneself, something that psychopharmacology sometimes fails to achieve. Additionally, it is a way to enhance health sovereignty. Thank you, Juan Carlos. We'd love to have you be a part of our first training.
And Caroline said, I'd like to see the stigma of microdosing change with respect to being in recovery 12-step. Absolutely. Our program has specific focus on addiction recovery that we're really excited about. And it's our mission to shift the whole paradigm and stigma of how we view utilizing psychedelics in recovery. L'Oreal said, microdosing is a fantastic resource to support the trauma community. Absolutely. Michael is just generally interested in the evolution of the space and learning about this amazing community. Flavia said, it helped me heal my relationship with my body in so many ways. I'd love for other women to receive this gift. And that's what this is all about. It's all about paying it forward, passing it on, honoring the sacred reciprocity of the medicine, and inviting in how much we've been received from these medicine experiences and giving that to other people. Adam, I think it's a perfect time for us to transition to the next portion of our training.
Yeah, I just want to acknowledge Matthew Britt, who's a cultivator and a microdosing coach, political activist on psilocybin legislation on Maui, a Lahaina survivor and psychedelic success story. Matthew, we'd love to hear more about your story. Go ahead and add that to the chat as we go along so people can learn more about you. Again, this is the importance of networking community. So let's move on to the next one, Danielle. The intention of this training program is to empower you with the ethical skills and knowledge needed to guide individuals safely and effectively through the microdosing experience. With the rise in microdosing use around the world, we see a need for more trained facilitators to support individuals through this transformative practice. We believe this training and community will enrich your current work and play a crucial role in advancing the responsible and sacred use of microdosing around the globe.
So we're just going to give you a quick overview of today's webinar and what you're going to learn. So we're going to start off with going over an in-depth overview of the program and its benefits for you. After that, and I just saw Dr. Jim Fadiman, he just entered into the Zoom today. We're going to have a special guest appearance from Dr. Jim Fadiman, world-renowned psychedelic researcher, author, thought leader, and the reason why all of us are here. Dr. Jim Fadiman, Ph.D., he popularized microdosing into the public consciousness, and he is going to share with us today. After we hear from Jim, we're going to go into a live Q&A where you guys get to ask us anything about the training program. We also want to just invite in at any point of this webinar, if you have questions for us, please put them in the chat. I just want to send a deep gratitude to Nathan, who is assisting us here today. Nathan's going to be recording all of your questions, and we will attend to your questions at the end during the live Q&A portion. And we will also have opportunities for you to join the community.
Millions of people are exploring psychedelics for the first time without proper guidance, which can result in long-term harm, incorrect dosing, and difficult experiences that are hard to navigate. These experiences often perpetuate a negative stigma around psychedelics. By training professional microdosing facilitators like you, we can ensure that these first-time experiences are safe, transformative, and beneficial, offering a positive entry point that promotes growth and reduces risks.
Over 400 million people globally suffer from depression, anxiety, addiction, and PTSD. Current solutions are limited, often relying on addictive substances that create long-term dependency and suppress the nervous system, which creates so much harm. By training you to be a facilitator, you can forge a new path of freedom and liberation for your clients, offering you innovative solutions for mental health and addiction to transcend the traditional medical paradigm.
Many practitioners, doctors, and clinicians have limited knowledge or expertise on microdosing, often having to turn a blind eye to psychedelics with their patients. This training empowers you, facilitators, coaches, and clinicians, with comprehensive expertise, knowledge, cutting-edge research, and a network of support to effectively guide your clients through a microdosing protocol.
Facilitators, coaches, and clinicians like you might feel isolated in your practice without a network of peers to share your experiences and advice. Let us know in the chat if you've ever felt isolated doing this sacred work. The Microdosing Facilitator Training Program offers you to become a part of a growing network of facilitators, providing high-level expertise, guidance, consultation, ensuring that you have the support that you need.
I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Adam Bramlage. I'm the CEO of Flow State Micro. We're a functional mushroom company and an microdosing educational platform. I work one-on-one with clients to optimize their microdosing experience. I've created online educational programs with double-blind magazines, Psychedelics Today, and San Francisco Psychedelic Society that have been seen by more than 25,000 people worldwide. Together with Danielle, we co-founded the Microdosing Facilitator Training. During this training, I'm going to not only be your lead faculty, but I'm going to be teaching you about the evolution of microdosing, the ancestral animal and ancient human use of the practice. We'll be going over the basics and best practices for microdosing education, along with navigating coaching red flags. And I'm going to be supporting you as well through the last month of practice facilitation as we work with our partners to guide each other through a month of microdosing.
Adam, it is such an honor to co-create and co-found the Microdosing Facilitator Training with you. Thank you. I'm Danielle Nova. I am so honored and excited to be here with you today. I'm also the co-founder of the Microdosing Facilitator Training, as well as your lead faculty I'm going to be guiding you alongside Adam throughout this whole training program. I've been working in the psychedelic field for the past 6.5 years as the executive director of San Francisco Psychedelic Society. Throughout my time at the society, I've created educational programs, classes, and integration spaces for over 15,000 people worldwide. I'm also the founder of Psychedelic Recovery, which is a community that supports people either in active addiction or long-term recovery that are utilizing psychedelics to interrupt addiction. We've had over 5,000 people come through our program. Was also on the founding team of Decriminalize Nature Oakland. We passed the first resolution in the United States to decriminalize all entheogenic plants and fungi in the city of Oakland, which then spread a nationwide movement where over a dozen cities have adopted our same language. And I also work as a psychedelic guide and microdosing coach. I've worked one-on-one with over 100 people, guiding them through psychedelic experiences and utilizing microdosing. I've led international retreats with indigenous tribes like the Yawanawa and the Huni Queen. And my specialty is in helping people interrupt addiction through the intentional use of psychedelics. I'm going to be teaching a class specifically on microdosing for addiction recovery, as well as your practice sessions alongside Adam, teaching you about microdosing and specific integration tools that we can use with our clients, how to actually start your microdosing practice. This is a career development program. We want to get you guys started so that you can go out there in the field and start to work with clients. And we're also going to teach you specific techniques around self-care as a practitioner and ritual reverence when it as it pertains to utilizing microdosing as a tool.
We really developed this training in response to numerous requests over the last 5 years from doctors, therapists, and professionals that are seeking specialized training in the area of microdosing.
We have assembled an incredible guest faculty of experts in their field that are going to be teaching this world-renowned training program.
We'd like to start with our guest today, who you'll be hearing from in a few minutes, Dr. James Fadiman, Ph.D. He's a psychedelic researcher, a therapist, an author, the author of the Psychedelic Explorer's Guide, which around 12, 13 years ago first brought the idea of microdosing into the general public, which then spread across Silicon Valley and the rest of the world. Jim will be speaking in a few minutes, and he is going to be giving a microdosing keynote as well as answering questions in a Q&A during our summer cohort. So happy to have you here, Jim. Please feel free to welcome Jim into the comment section, everybody.
Let's show Jim some love in the comment section. Next up, we have a dear friend of mine, Dr. Manesh Gurn, PhD. He works alongside Robin Carhart-Harris at UCSF, pioneering psilocybin research and brain imaging. Dr. Manesh Gurn is a neuroscientist. He's also a world-renowned speaker. He has a popular YouTube channel that is called The Psychedelic Scientist, where he educates all about drugs and their impact on the brain. Dr. Manesh Gurn is going to be teaching us about the science of microdosing and neuroplasticity and the role that you play in changing your brain.
We've got Laura Dawn, which is one of the leading thought leaders in the space right now, and she's going to be teaching about microdosing, psychedelics, and creativity.
Courtney Watson, who's a therapist, she's incredible. She started one of the first ketamine clinics in Oakland for BIPOC community and LGBTQ folks. She's actually taking herself through a microdosing protocol to develop the materials for this training. She's one of the most incredible speakers I have ever witnessed. She's just a wealth of knowledge, and she's going to be teaching us all about understanding our sexual selves, a psychedelic process, how we can utilize microdosing to explore our sexuality and understand our sexuality, as well as processing sexual trauma.
We really have a dream team of teachers. 50% of our staff are BIPOC. It's extremely diverse. And we're so excited to have Jasmine Vreede. She's going to be teaching about crisis intervention and risk mitigation.
Dr. Sandra Dreisbach, PhD, is an incredible thought leader in psychedelics, and she is going to be teaching all about ethical facilitation and boundary setting.
We've got Dr. Ben Malcolm. He's a clinical pharmacist, and he's going to be teaching us about medication, contraindications, and considerations while microdosing. How incredible to have a clinical pharmacist here talking to us directly about contraindications and microdosing.
Dr. Connor Murray, PhD, he pioneered the first LSD microdosing study, and he is going to be teaching us all about microdosing research. He is a neuroscientist that works at UCLA.
We've got Reggie Harris, founder of Oakland Hyphae and Hyphae Labs. Reggie's going to be teaching us all about psilocybin. There are more than 180 to 200 psychedelic psilocybin strains, and Reggie's going to be going in depth with which strains are best for microdosing and which strains are not.
And so Hyphae Labs, they are the first ever psilocybin and tryptamine potency testing lab in the whole country. And so they've been doing a lot of work on the underground, testing thousands of different psilocybin varieties. And so they really have a pulse on what kind of psilocybin strains are being used. And not all strains are suitable for microdosing. So this is the only training program in the world that educates both about the research that's being done on microdosing, both in the underground and at the institutional level at UCSF and UCLA. We're super honored to have Reggie as a part of our program. We have Maurice Bird, who's a therapist. He is the trainer of all trainers when it comes to harm reduction therapy. He trains practitioners all across the country on harm reduction. He's going to be teaching us about safety and harm reduction and conscious client discussion. And what's really special about Maurice is that he's going to be teaching clinicians how to navigate speaking with your clients about microdosing while still protecting your license.
We've got Tracy T, founder of Moms on Mushrooms, and she is somebody that is going to talk to us about working with parents, fathers, and mothers, and how they can safely and effectively incorporate microdosing into their life.
Stephen Huang is an incredible thought leader and teacher. He is the Justice, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Director at MAPS, the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies. He is going to be teaching us how to become Jedi informed, how we can become informed as practitioners to honor justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion as it pertains to microdosing facilitation.
We have Danielle Shankin of Mount Tam Integration and the Psilocybin Summit. He's going to be teaching us about microdosing and space holding facilitation skills.
So we're going to be covering all different types of psychedelic microdosing, but the focus of our training at the centerpiece is going to be on LSD and psilocybin microdosing. And I just want to take a moment to invite in the energy, the spirit of these sacred medicines into our program here today. We do this work because of the medicine. We're all here together because of these sacred medicines. And the work that we do through this facilitation program is sacred reciprocity. We're giving back to the medicines for how much they've helped us. And we really just want to give so much gratitude and thanks to the sacred medicines for being a part of the program, for being they are the ultimate teachers. They are the master teachers of this program. They are on the faculty and, they're on the board of our organization.
And last but not least, we'd like to welcome Tomas Garrett, who is also a member of Oakland Hyphae and Hyphae Labs. And he's going to be working with Reggie and talking to you guys again about the 180 to 200 different psilocybin strains and which ones are good and which ones are not for microdosing.
And he is a scientist.
A common question that Danielle and I have been receiving is, what does it mean to be certified? Are you regulated by the state? Our response is it's similar to yoga teacher training and their certification. Other certifications that you might recognize that are non-governmental include yoga teacher trainings, interior design, holotropic breathwork trainings or breathwork trainings, Reiki or massage trainings.
MAPS, MDMA-assisted psychotherapy. Most all psychedelic training programs are not regulated by the state or the government. However, in certain states like Oregon, there's starting to be governmental oversight. Life coaching training, personal training, nutrition coach. And, if you want to think about it, it's as if you're at the first ever yoga teacher training in North America ever, or the first ever breathwork teacher training, personal trainer teacher training. It started somewhere. And so this is what this is. This is the first ever microdosing facilitator training program of its kind in North America. And you get to be a part of the first cohort. It is so exciting and revolutionary. And we're really excited to have you a part of the first ever microdosing facilitator training.
Let's talk about the benefits of this training and how this training will enhance your current work and profession.
So there are infinite benefits, but at a high level, this training can enhance your professional credibility. It can also diversify your career and opportunities. It's really an opportunity for expansion. There's so many things that you can do with this training that we'll go into in a bit. It's really going to empower you as a practitioner with such a comprehensive skill set that you're going to be able to apply to your existing career. And it's also going to increase your marketability to your clients because you have this specialty alongside all of the other things that you might be offering. But it's also going to increase your marketability because there's very few specific microdosing practitioners. So you get to come in at the ground level and be a microdosing facilitator for people as the growing need. There's going to be more of a demand than there are facilitators. And so our mission is to meet that growing demand and need that is currently happening within the psychedelic space.
Other benefits might include integrating this training and certification with existing modalities. Maybe you're a yoga teacher, a coach, a Reiki master, or a healer of some sort. You're going to be able to integrate this training into the work you're already doing. Networking opportunities. You're going to be plugged into an amazing community of practitioners, artists, musicians, people like yourself that need a place to come together and share ideas and process things. And it's going to be incredible for your own personal and professional growth, not to mention different revenue streams that we can help you create and different entrepreneurial ventures. We'll discuss that in a second. I like to say that supporting and guiding individuals through this experience is essential to maximize benefits and minimize risks. Why this training is a perfect way to enter the psychedelic field as a career, and why it's an amazing adjunct to your existing practice.
So this training is a perfect way to enter the psychedelic as a career or an adjunct to your existing practice because, as I was just sharing about, there's a huge growing demand. We're seeing that the growth of how many people that are microdosing is growing, and we need to empower practitioners to really be able to support people through a microdosing protocol. There's going to be a growing demand for microdosing facilitators as the existence, the maturity of the psychedelic field grows. Also, it's going to enhance your client outcomes and experiences. If you're already working with clients and you're able to work with them as they might be microdosing, instead of turning a blind eye or not knowing how to help them, you're going to be able to help your clients in a deeper way. It's also the foundation for advanced roles. Microdosing facilitation is a great way to enter the field, and you can even build off of that if you're destined to become a macrodosing coach as well, or macrodosing facilitator, and guide larger psychedelic experiences. But not everyone is going to want to be a larger dose facilitator, especially certain clinicians like doctors and certain practitioners. And being a large dose facilitator, I do that myself. It takes a lot of time. Sometimes it's 8, 12-hour days with your clients, and you can't do that every single day. It's difficult to have that as a sustainable space. So we're really empowering practitioners. You're going to have flexibility, and this is going to give you credibility and autonomy to be a practitioner.
You're going to be able to expand your professional network. It's an accessible starting point for people new to psychedelics and the psychedelic space. You can, again, increase your client trust by having done this training and being an expert in microdosing facilitation. And you can grow your clientele and find a diverse clientele as you explore the community and the connections within the psychedelic space.
So microdosing changed my life. Microdosing helped me transform out of my 15-year addiction to drugs. And I am so excited to steward the only training program in the world that teaches practitioners how to guide their clients to use microdosing as a tool to interrupt addiction.
Let's talk about navigating legality as a microdosing facilitator. Practitioners often worry about the legal landscape of microdosing and fear practicing illegally. This training offers you career development that provides a safe entry point into the field. We are training you to offer education and facilitation, while also safeguarding your practice to minimize legal risk. As a certified microdosing facilitator, you will provide education, guidance, harm reduction, support.
Integration, best practices, you're going to help your clients process their emotions, and coaching.
As a certified microdosing practitioner, you will not provide unless, of course, this is your specific training to do so, illegal drugs, psychedelic therapy, medical diagnoses, or medical treatments.
In addition, you are not going to provide mental health crisis intervention, guaranteed outcomes, drug and alcohol detox, and specific psychiatric plan. Now, we are going to be teaching classes on crisis intervention, and how to handle if a crisis comes up, and also how to interrupt addiction through microdosing. But this is not about a training to become a crisis interventionist or how to become a drug and alcohol detox clinic.
Dr. Ben Malcolm, clinical pharmacist, believes it's time to bring microdosing into maturity and offer parallel support systems for optimizing benefits and safety of use to those available for psychedelic-assisted therapy.
So what you can do with this certification post-graduation. So now we're going to go into all the different ways where you can unlock your limitless potential with this training. And we also want to name that there's going to be so many more ways in the future that you're going to be able to use this training. But here are some of the ways.
So you can lead retreats. There's all kinds of psychedelic and microdosing retreats around the world. You can also teach workshops. You can speak at conferences, psychedelic conferences that are already in existence, or you can create your own. You can create your own citizen science research or team up with one of the many universities or programs that are doing research around the world.
You're also going to be able to learn how to work one-on-one with clients. That is the focus of this program. You can use this training to facilitate groups, work with couples, and even create your own programs or courses. Dr. Manesh Gurn, Ph.D., says, I'm a neuroscientist and psychedelic researcher who is dedicated to advancing our understanding of the effects of psychedelics on our minds and brains, and how cutting-edge neuroscientific research can inform approaches to healing, growth, and personal transformation. What I love about Manesh's teachings is that he really he has a gift of being able to translate information as a researcher and the research findings into an accessible way, so where you can actually translate that understanding with your clients.
Now let's talk about what you receive as part of this program. There's 16 live weekly 2-hour lectures every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. After that lecture, there's a question and answer session where you'll be able to ask these world-leading experts direct questions. There's also 8 study groups and personal practice integration sessions that happen every other Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific. You're going to be connected to an incredible online community and network that will become priceless to you in the future growing your business. You will choose a final project that speaks to you and your niche within the microdosing world, and there'll be a final assessment as well. You'll receive the Microdosing Facilitator Training Manual, which not only has standard operating procedures and medical intake forms, but is also going to have transcripts of every speaker's lecture that we listen to over time. You're going to get bonus videos and office hours, and you're going to be able to rewatch any of these live lectures or integration sessions as many times as you want if you happen to miss class.
We can't wait to welcome you into this program. We're so excited to have all of you join. Thank you to everyone for being here today. Thank you to everyone that signed up for the program already. We are one of the most affordable psychedelic training programs that exists. And so we're offering the early bird option, which is a one-time payment for $37.50, where you will get everything that Adam just mentioned for the all-inclusive training program. We also have an amazing payment plan where you can pay 1 month for 4 months at $1,062, and that will get you the whole training program as well. And then we have an amazing premium option, which some of you have already signed up for. And this is where we will give you 16 weekly personalized coaching sessions post-certification. Adam and I have a collective 10 years of experience working one-on-one with clients. We want to empower you as a facilitator and give you the confidence that you need to be able to get started in your career post-certification. We'll offer you business mentorship and guidance, and really we're like pros at marketing at this point as well. So we have a wealth of knowledge and understanding of how to get you started as a practitioner. We have a QR code right here It will link you directly to the program. And Nathan, let's also have you put the link to our training program in the chat as well. And let us know if you're going to be signing up for the program. Let us know in the chat. We're super excited to welcome you into the Revolutionary Training Program. And we can't wait to grow with you and build with you on the psychedelic path.
We are so excited for you to be here today. We're so excited for you to hear from Jim Fadiman in the next minute. We want to remind you that enrollment closes 1 week from today. There's no better time for you to secure your seat than now. And we look forward to answering your questions here after we hear from Jim Fadiman. Nathan, if we could unmute Jim and bring him up on screen, I'd like to welcome everybody. I'd like to welcome Dr. Jim Fadiman, Ph.D., father of modern microdosing.
Welcome, Jim.
Give us a second to get this technology. There he is. Hey, Jim.
Okay. Am I here also in sound as well as sight?
Yes. And if we could bring Jim up full screen so everyone, there we go. Beautiful.
Okay. Okay. Any of you that would like to be visible, it really feels better when I see other people. Thanks, Cesar, and other people that I already know. So welcome, 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 many of you. Wow. We've come a long way, baby. From my wondering if it has any effect and asking a bunch of people, psychonauts in Santa Cruz, would they like to try this little bit? And most of them looked at me like, what's the point? And it turns out that the point is that an enormous amount of what you read in the professional literature about what can be done at high doses also can be done at low doses. With obvious benefits, one of them being that it's maybe 1,000th the cost, as well as the safety is vastly better. So I was asked, would I say something about what you're about to do? And I'm just, I'm kind of, this is like a big moment in the history of microdosing where we're really saying, it's time to get people trained because the need is so great. Some of you might know about the microdosing edit on Reddit. There's 240,000 people who are interested in microdosing and who help each other. There's very, very few people that have the training that Adam and Danielle have. I should let you know that Danielle and Adam are really about the best I know. And one of the ways I can tell is that over the years, Adam and I particularly work in a very interesting way. When someone asks me questions that I don't know, their life situation is too difficult for me to handle, and I'm quite sure that I really am not up to the level they need, I just say, well, I know this guy, Adam, at Flow State Micro, and maybe he'll work with you. And the book that will be coming out next year about microdosing, most of the really hard cases in that book are actually people I've sent to Adam. So you're getting the best of the best. And you're also getting a particular benefit, which you may not quite agree with, but I've been teaching a lot of things in a lot of situations for a lot of years. And one of the things I know is when you're the teacher and you're the first group, you get a level of attention and care that no one will ever get again, because your instructors and all of them want this to work, and they want to know from you what's working, what's not working, and they really are going to care. You're just simply going to get a lot more personal, both respect and intention. The second group will get pretty good, because all the things that didn't work quite as well will have been cleaned up, but they won't get the same intensity, because now the group, everyone working here will know, yeah, it worked kind of the way we thought it would. So I hope that some of you get to be in that first group. Now, one of the things I know is, and it's an interesting part of the profession, which I don't know has been covered so far, but we know from a number of therapists that their clients who are microdosing, this is from therapists, do better. Very, very simply. So, but no one, therapists on the whole aren't going to be doing the training of microdosing to the side of the therapy itself. So you're already a successful adjunct to almost anyone in therapy. And I mean general psychotherapy. Another thing to keep in mind, if you've kind of read most of the high dose literature, it's very, very skewed to mental effects, mental conditions, mental concerns, diagnostic categories, etc. There's very little awareness in the high dose world of the effects of psychedelics on physical problems. That's because physical problems take a little bit of time to turn around. When someone microdoses for depression, very often 1 or 2 or 3 tastes in, just 3 or 2 or 3 times, people will say, "Oh, I'm back." And there's a huge shift. Physical things take longer, but the physical problems that microdosing is good for include pain. Now, pain is the only condition that there's more of than the mental condition, depression. And I mean pain, chronic pain, nerve pain, surgical pain, accident pain. We're just reading a little study today, a woman with degenerative back disease, and she's telling her practitioner that she doesn't want to refill her pain meds. And the practitioner says, "Gee, that's terrific." And the woman says, "Well, don't you want to know why? Because we all know degenerative back disease doesn't get better." And so she tells him microdosing and how much it's helped. And the woman says, "I'm really interested. I have the same condition and I live on pain pills." So 3 weeks later, her practitioner is saying, "I feel so much better." So there's a whole world out there that has not been explored in the high dose world, and you guys are going to be able to work with those people. It's a huge shift. I don't know. I have very little else to say, other than I'm very excited to be able to suggest. A number of you will not be able to do this yet, and there will be other trainings and there will be other opportunities. I happen to be very excited for this one because of what I've just said. So I'm hoping that you can, maybe I can be part of the Q&A if it comes up. And I'm just, as I say, namaste, which means, remember, I'm bowing to the divine inside of you, which is covered with your body and with your personality and with your childhood. But that's the flame that microdosing makes a little bit bigger and a little bit better and a little bit safer and makes your life a little bit easier. So that's it.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time and everything you've done for this movement.
Yeah, we're honoring you, Jim. You are the reason why we're all here. Thank you.
Well, I don't even feel that as a burden anymore. I just think it's like, somebody gave me a big packet of, if you ever grow opium poppies, which you can grow, by the way, I ordered some when I thought they would become illegal. I do that. I got this little packet and it said 10,000 seeds. And I thought, whoa, poppies are pretty sure they want to make the next generation. And once you plant the poppies, and it's a little bit of a struggle to get the first group, they self-propagate. That's where we are with microdosing. We have made it out of that, that little tiny seed of microdoses is now spread. We have reports from 80 countries. That's that's more than NATO. That's more than a lot of organizations. It's a world phenomena, and people are still struggling to figure out what it is. So you're with the best teachers I know. I know a lot of your other faculty. Some of them I'm thinking, God, I want to listen to that one. I'm supposed to know all this stuff, and I'm sure I've got a lot to learn. So thanks again.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you for all you've done in this space. Jim has been a dear friend and mentor of mine and is one of the most accessible and kindest people in the whole psychedelic space, and we're so honored to have him.
Jim, you're truly an inspiration. There's very few people that I really look up to in the psychedelic field, and I always just feel so inspired whenever I hear you speak. You just bring such a level of depth and humility and a wealth of knowledge to the field. So we're very blessed and honored to have you as a part of this program and to have been such an incredible teacher for us to be able to inform all the work that we're doing.
Thanks.
Beautiful. And that brings us in now, Danielle, to the question and answer portion of our talk.
Yeah, so it is time for you guys to ask us anything all about the microdosing facilitator training. This is not going to be a Q&A about microdosing and dosing and protocols and applications. That is going to be for the training program. But today we're opening it up for our incredible community today to ask us anything about the microdosing facilitator training. And I see some questions already that came through from earlier. So there is a question, is there a space limit on enrolling?
As of right now, we have more than 20 students enrolled. We are really excited to keep this first session, like Jim said, nice and small and intimate. But at this time, there is no limit. We'd like to have other people sign up, and we're excited to add on to our class of 20. So we heard from Lacey, when does the class start? The class starts July 14th. That's a Sunday. That's 2 p.m. Pacific time. And again, if you can't make any of the classes live, you will have access to watching the videos at another time.
Another question we have is, what are the opportunities, but what are the challenges? It's a great question.
So I think some of the challenges are just understanding what's legal and what's not legal. And what we're really training people to do is be a coach and advise people and educate people to become an educator. Again, as you saw on those slides, we're not teaching people to do anything illegal or to supply anyone with any illegal substances. This is all about education and adding something new to your already existing career, whether you're an artist, practitioner, a nurse, or a therapist. Again, Danielle and I created this because a lot of professionals were coming to us asking for guidance and training, and that's why we developed this program.
And the challenges might be starting something new, becoming a new practitioner in a field that you're very new. And of course, there's going to be a lot of stuff that comes up starting. I remember when I first starting, a lot of imposter syndrome came up and not really knowing how to navigate situations with clients. There's still questions that I have that come up around navigating situations with clients, but that's what's so amazing about being a part of a community. Like when there's certain things that come up with questions around clients, I like to process them with Adam. We process our clientele as mentors to each other, and it's really great to have that support from each other. It's important. And it's also a level of professionality and holding this ethically as a practitioner to be able to have that high level support from your community. We don't expect you to leave this program knowing how to navigate every single situation that's going to come up with your clients, but it's going to provide you with the tools and the understanding and the expertise to provide a solid foundation for your practice.
We have two people asking if the premium coaching option is available after the cohort begins. Basically, if you decide later that you want to add that, is that possible? Absolutely. If you're interested and you want to sign up for the first payment plan because finances are an issue, and then you decide later on that you're loving it and you would love that continued support, we can definitely get you signed up for the premium plan, even as we get closer to graduation. So if people change their minds throughout the course and they're interested in that premium plan, we can definitely get you signed up for that as well. So I see Carolyn Davies is asking whether there will be information on cultivation in the course. Reggie and Tomas are experts in cultivation. They can answer some of your questions on cultivation, but this is not a mushroom cultivation course. We're not training people how to specifically grow mushrooms. But if you're interested in that, you're going to be connected to two of the best mushroom cultivators in the space with Reggie and Tomas and Oakland Hi-Fi.
There's a question, will there be continued education units for healthcare providers like RN or MDs? It's a really great question. Right now, there are not continuing education credits. However, we would love to explore that in the future.
So somebody's asking me, if you're not able to give them microdosing, what's the point? If you don't have access to the medicine, what do they do with this knowledge then? That's a great question. So right now, facilitators that I'm working with or doctors that are coming to me, therapists, their clients are accessing everything, you know, in the legal or gray market. It's not hard for people necessarily to come by these substances. We're definitely making sure that you're not providing these substances. You're providing education and coaching on these substances and how to use them safely and effectively. Now, it's important to remember that there are legal options for microdosing right now in the United States and around the world that plenty of coaches are using, including Amanita muscaria, including Kana. So there's a lot of different varieties for coaches to start with actual legal products currently in the United States. So you don't necessarily need access to psilocybin to be able to be a successful and thriving coach. Again, you're getting paid to provide your education and your best practices and harm reduction to these clients.
What is the biggest issue with clients that you face? I would say, you know, I work with a lot of addiction clients, and for some clients, they have a difficulty navigating not microdosing, especially people that come from addiction backgrounds, and microdosing is really helping them. Taking days off is hard for them. And so it's really about teaching people how to have a healthy relationship with substances. This is not, you know, we're not teaching people to take something every single day and get dependent on microdosing, but we're teaching people how to be in healthy, reverent relationships. So I'd say that's a common challenge that I've seen come up with my clients, as well as another issue I would say is a lot of people that I work with are taking psychiatric drugs, and they might not be a suitable client for the microdosing protocol. So I think some people have a hard time you know, it's not appropriate, I believe, to combine certain psychiatric medications with microdosing for the long term. Some of the issues that I see there is, you know, people giving up really soon with microdosing or feeling like they don't really see a lot of changes happening quickly. But we teach people that change happens over time. It's over a continuum. How about you, Jim? Have you seen any issues come up as it pertains to microdosing?
Oh, I was so hoping that I could interrupt. Yeah, let's go back to the psychiatric drugs. One of the major uses for microdosing is helping people get off psychiatric drugs that no longer serve them. As you may know, those of you on psychiatric drugs or have had them, that there's often considerable danger in getting off them too quickly or without support. And one of the things that you can really help people with is guiding them through, and just exactly what Danielle's saying, is how to work with the medications they have that help and how to work with the medications that don't help to get off them. It's a whole area where there's really almost no support other than people saying, really try hard and it'll be better. And I know people who've gotten off this drug. And of course, we know it's very, very difficult. Microdosing makes it considerably easier. And it's one of the major things you're probably going to be working with.
Thank you, Jim. Neil asked, do you think that microdosing carries similar risks of false positive that high dosing does? I'm sure you have planned to help us work with this. I'm curious how you will approach this. We have Dr. Connor Murray, Ph.D., microdosing researcher who did one of the first LSD microdosing studies in University of Chicago, which they really tested that whole placebo idea and found that there are improvements in brain activity, even at doses where people don't know they've been given a substance. So we're going to talk about all that placebo, and we'll handle that with the world's leading researcher on microdosing, Connor Murray of UCLA.
Connor is the world's leading researcher. Also, it turns out that the beneficial effects of microdosing, a number of them go away when you just raise the dose a little bit. And that's one of his discoveries, and ask him about it, because one is the placebo, as he considers it, the whole issue of placebo is over. It's been disproved by science, and he's the god. What's more interesting is he's also found that there's a sweet spot. And if you go above it, yeah, you feel a little bit high, but you begin to lose some of the benefits. So microdosing, it turns out, is its own effect world. It is never the error that most people, and certainly I've had it, is it's not a small high dose. It's different.
Beautiful. Paul is
Well-
asking, how many months is the certification program, and how long after this program ends will the next program start? This program is 4 months long. It ends in the first week of November, and another program will begin after this program graduates. And then Caesar's asking, how much does this course teach citizen science? Well, we have Dr. Fadiman, who's the originator of reminding us all that citizen science is the original science, and the real way that we originally found out what worked and what didn't work. So yes, we're going to be talking as well about citizen science, and that's why I think it's important that we have people like Reggie and Tomas, who are doing amazing underground research at their lab in Oakland at the Hyphae Labs.
I would say it is incredibly balanced with citizen science research and understanding, and research both in the underground and the institutional level. A lot of the teachers that are going to be teaching are teaching from their own informed practice and experiences with the clients that they've worked with, but also we have, some researchers that are doing the research studies. And Lacey just said, full body, yes, I just signed up. Let's just celebrate. Lacey, welcome to the program. Lacey, this is amazing. We're super excited to have you join the program. Thank you so much. And what I love about what you shared in the chat is the full body yes. Like, to me, that just means that there's so much alignment happening for you and there's no question about it. And that is the energy that we want to bring to the microdosing facilitator training. So thank you, Lacey, so much for joining the training program. We're super honored.
Andrew Ross is asking, could you share a bit more about the curriculum? Andrew, we will email you the brochure. The brochure goes into detailed length about all the classes and more of the curriculum, and we'll make sure that we email that to you after we get off this webinar.
Actually, Nathan has access to the brochure. Nathan, could you please put the brochure right there in the chat, please?
So Patrick Ryan says, the feeling this gives me of the facilitator course is helping us get ahead of the curve when people are able to source their microdosing more easily. It's a proactive measure, so to speak. Totally agree with you, Patrick. And Danielle and I live in California. Jim lives near the Bay Area. There are more and more communities that are becoming decriminalized. There are more and more churches that are coming out. There are more and more access points for people. And it's really not our responsibility as facilitators to provide any kind of medicine. It's really about education and information. And that's why Danielle and I are here to professionalize this practice.
Gregory asked, will you be recertified each year and given blessings by the state? We are intending to become an approved program in states like Oregon and hopefully Colorado once that program gets underway, but we have not yet gone down that route yet. And I imagine in the future with California, there's going to be some state regulated programs, and we hope to be a part of that once legalization comes to California.
Beautiful. And Muna asked, you've spoken about mushrooms and LSD. Will microdosing iboga be covered as well? In my talk, I'm going to be talking about the ancestral use of microdosing iboga by the Bwiti and how they were actually introduced to iboga by the porcupine, by an actual animal. So yes, we will talk about the sacred use of peyote, iboga, and all of these other sacred plants, roots, and fungi throughout the course of our training. Not only their ancestral history and historical use, but also how they're being used in society for microdosing today. So Rosie's asking if this material taught within the course is accessible after the course for students to access and reference. Yes, it is. And actually, what's so amazing about this microdosing facilitator training manual is every speaker that presents, we are going to print out a transcript of their talk. So not only will you have access to the video and can watch that over and over, but you will have access to the written transcript of each one of these teachers and experts, so you can go through and highlight what you want and be able to come back and revisit it as many times as you want.
Is that going to be available to honored guests as well? Those transcripts?
Yes, those are available to Jim Fadiman, who I know loves transcripts, and AI is really helping us these days to make sure these transcripts get printed. So yes, we will get you all the transcripts. Victoria, you will have access to the materials. You have access to the printed materials for a lifetime, right? You keep those forever, and you can use those with the clients. The videos will be up for more than a year. You'll have access to those as well, so you'll be able to watch those as many times if you like.
Jim, you get a front row seat to the program.
Terrific.
Heather Scholl is asking, I apologize if this has been covered, will there be any discussion on veteran-specific trauma? We've worked with amazing veterans, not only in the psychedelic space, but the cannabis space. And if this is something you're interested, we'll definitely make sure that we touch on it, and it is a part of the program. So yes, Heather, thank you for that suggestion.
And there is evidence, effective evidence of microdosing for PTSD, unpublished. It'll be in the book we have coming out. And I wouldn't have said that 6 months ago, but it does look like microdosing is definitely useful, not in all cases, obviously, but well worth trying for PTSD for vets.
Beautiful.
That's so groundbreaking. There's just such few options for PTSD. So I love hearing that. And I feel like I've personally experienced that myself with relief from PTSD symptoms.
Beautiful. So we've got a few more minutes here for the webinar. So if you have any questions that you want to get answered by myself, Jim, or Danielle, now is the time. We're in probably the last 5-10 minutes of this program.
Thank you to everyone so far who's asked your questions and been so engaged on this program.
There was a question that came up in the chat are you going to deal with marijuana?
Yeah, we're not going to dive too deep into the use of marijuana for microdosing, although some could argue it has psychoactive and psychedelic properties. And microdosing of cannabis is something that is being done, but we will not be diving too deep into the use of cannabis for microdosing.
But make sure that when Connor's here that you ask him that question, because it turns out there are radical differences between the effects of marijuana and psychedelics at the microdose level.
Yeah, and that's one of the studies he talks about where he tested microdosing LSD against meth and marijuana and meth did not have any improvements, whereas LSD did. Right. And he wanted to make that correlation that LSD and marijuana are not doing the same things in the brain when it comes to microdosing. So that's a great point, Jim.
It's really amazing, that study and what they found.
And how.
Amazing. So we're coming here into our last minute. We've answered most of these questions. If we missed your question, this is your last opportunity to throw it into the chats. If you're interested in a personal one-on-one call with Danielle and I to go a little deeper, Nathan, if you could drop that link into the chat and the link for people to sign up. If you could drop that link to sign up. Yes, Caesar, we will go over the effects of microdosing on different ages from 20 to 30 to 40 to 60 and beyond. Hey, Jim, do you know anything about any studies that help with microdosing and eating disorders, specifically anorexia? I know they're studying full dose, but can you tell me about microdosing and eating disorders?
There's no formal studies, though I think one may be starting. In our book, we have this incredible case study of a woman who says, I've been anorexic for 20 years. I've microdosed for 3 months and I've gained 30 pounds. I followed up and I have a lot of correspondence with her. What she said is, when she was microdosing, and she'd had lots of therapies and lots of treatments and so forth, but she basically stayed anorexic. She was able to use what she already knew from all of her therapy, which she'd never been able to use before. So anorexia is not a physical, that's a symptom of a mental condition. And therefore microdosing is very appropriate.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jim. Danielle, do you see any more questions we haven't got to in the webinar?
When does the early bird price end?
It ends in 1 week, 1 week from today on June 30th. It ends. So you've got 1 week left to sign up.
I'm also
Go ahead.
curious to know if anyone is sort of on the fence about joining the training, if you just want to share in the chat, and maybe we can, talk that through you very briefly.
I'd like to read to Jim what Flavia just shared. She said, "Oh, I haven't even considered weighing myself or depriving myself of food or worrying about calories since microdosing. I don't even wear uncomfortable or synthetic clothing. So yes, I can anecdotally confirm it cures eating disorders."
Can you ask whoever that was and have her send me an email with that description?
Flavia, I can't tell you how much Jim Fadiman appreciates well-written firsthand accounts of successful microdosing. So Jim's email is jfadiman@gmail.com. If you've got an amazing microdosing story like Flavia's and you could share it with him, that only helps us further the education. So thank you for that amazing share. And if anyone else wants to share anything, how microdosing has changed their life before we go, I'd love to share that. Flavia said she will absolutely email you. We've just dropped Jim's email into the thread if you have anything to share with him. All right, Danielle. Well, it looks like we've answered any questions. Jim, would you like to say one last final parting word to everybody and close it up for us?
I hope that you've recorded this, because this is a bit of our history where we've made one of those turns where we're moving from basically individuals that are kind of managing with what they've learned to using seasoned professionals with training to help other people get started and avoid all those early mistakes that the rest of us have made. So I'm just very happy to be part of this transition. Yeah, I'm just very happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. And again, we're honored to have you as a part of this. Danielle, anything to the circle before we close?
Thank you so much, Jim. And like I said, we stand on your shoulders. So we just are so grateful to you, and you being such a pioneer and pioneering microdosing into the public consciousness. And we're really grateful to be able to carry that torch and help so many people. And, I feel like if we can impact one life, we can change the world. So together we can change the world. And I'm just so inspired by the program we put together. I'm inspired by our community here today. Thank you everyone so much for all the work that you do on yourself and all the work that you do out there in the world. Thank you for all that you've ever been, all that you will become. We honor you and have such a respect for you. And we would love to build with you and welcome you on board to become a microdosing facilitator. We are available for one-on-one calls at any point, and we're really excited for those of you that have signed up so far.
And Heather, we're ready for you to sign up. Caroline, we're all ready for you to sign up. We're going to put the link in the chat. Nathan, can you make sure you add the link real quick where everybody can sign up who is interested? We're so excited to have you part of the community. And we look forward to talking to you again soon. Heather, we're in with you. We look forward to seeing you in class.
And I also want to give thanks to Adam. Adam, it's just such a gift to be able to work and collaborate with you on this program. I've loved every minute of it and building this with you. I'm so grateful for you. You are a wealth of knowledge. You're fantastic to work with. And I'm really excited to embark on the next evolution of launching this training program together.
Thank you, Danielle. It's been an honor working with you and creating this. And again, to Jim, we're so honored to have you. Again, everybody, you have an opportunity to be a part of a cutting edge program. Just like yoga teacher trainings in America 50 years ago, they weren't popular, but they sure are now. And you have the opportunity to be a pioneer in this space and offer something that most people are not offering. So we look forward to you joining us in your class, in our class. If you have any more questions, drop them in the chat. We'll hang out here for a minute quietly. Again, Nathan, if you could drop the link for people to sign up, we look forward to welcoming you into this community.
And thank you, Nathan. Without you, we're all just blank space on a dark screen.
And thank you, Nathan. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you to everybody. Again, the link is at the bottom. I'm so glad you joined us, and we will see you next time.
Caroline, we look
Yeah.
forward to our call.
Thank you, Elka. Thank you all. If we didn't answer your questions, book a one-on-one call. We'd be happy to do that with you. We look forward to y'all signing up and seeing you in class. Have a lovely evening, Aaron. We're so happy to have you be a part of our first training. We'll see you in a few weeks. Thank you, Muna. We look forward to seeing you sign up. Amazing. Thank you.
Amazing. Muna signed up. Welcome, Muna, to the program. We're super excited to have you as a part of the first cohort of the Microdosing Facilitator Training.
Welcome. Thank you, Muna. Look forward to teaching you all about ancient iboga use by the Bwiti and how they learned about this from watching porcupines. Love that stuff. All right, beautiful. We've got about 30 people left, so let's give people one more minute. Jim, again, we can't thank you enough for being here. We know you're super busy. Please give our love to Dorothy. Thank you so much. Neil, we look forward to our call with you on Wednesday. Look forward to you being a part of this training in our community. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody who's joined us. Have a lovely evening. We look forward to seeing you as part of this class.
Bye, Muna. Heather, we're so excited to have you as a part of the program. Thank you so much for signing up. We can't wait to co-create with you and build with you at the training and really get to know you on this psychedelic path.
And again, thank you to those that signed up tonight. We've got Muna, we've got Lacey, we've got a few more people coming in right now. This is amazing. Heather, again, thanks for talking with us and signing up next week. We can't wait to launch this program with you in the next couple weeks. All right, Danielle. Well, thank you for your time. I think that we can let everyone move on with their evening.
That sounds good. Great to see you, everyone. Hi, Victoria. And yeah, we look forward to building with you all at the Microdosing Facilitator Training. Have a beautiful evening out there.